So what you should
So now, moving on to the emotional insights from the composer. I've titled this, Giving Voice to the Silence, for Echoes on the Rail. Music has always been my way of speaking when words fail. Some of the Holocaust stories are too painful and too vast to be told with just mere language. These stories, I believe, need melody, harmony, and yes, what you'll hear in this first piece, the raw, trembling sound of the cello, his bow, on the bridge to achieve the steel sound of train wheels on the track coming to a screeching halt. It is not a pretty sound, you've been forewarned, but it also is indicative of what happened to the people when they got off the train. When I began writing music about the deportation trains, I did so knowing that no note I composed could ever fully capture the depth of suffering. And yet, I also knew that music had the power to bring us closer to those who lived and died in the darkness of history. I imagine these sounds, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels against the tracks, becoming the heartbeat of my composition, alongside the whispered prayers, the last words of exchange between loved ones. In the cold, cramped darkness of those cattle cars, fathers clutched their sons, mothers soothed their children, and families held hands in quiet defiance of the terror that waited for them. As the violin and cello mirrored the many voices aboard the trains, crying out for help, mercy, and home, we then hear in the quietest moment a father's voice reaching out to his young son, trembling but yet very strong in voice. And he says, "My child, do not be afraid. Do not let them take your spirit. You must live. You must carry our name. Rise again. Survive." This was a direct quote taken from an interview of a man I got to know at the Arizona Jewish Historical Society. His name was Jack Edelman, and this was his father's voice to him. So this is why I compose. Music allows us to feel history, not just to remember it, but to place us in the moment. Let us hear the unspoken and weep for the unnamed. When words are not enough, music carries, I believe, the truth forward. It ensures that those who stepped onto those trains are never forgotten. Through my composition, Echoes on the Rails, I hope to give these people their voice again. Now please join me in showing our appreciation for these gifted singers in honoring the members and the memory of the past by giving them a warm and respectful welcome. hope through butterfly shadows. As I sat at my piano this summer, the weight of history seemed to press against my chest. The voices of children, lost and yet never fully gone, whispered in my stillness. I imagined them in dim barracks and concentration camps, such as Auschwitz, in ghettos where Oscar was, and in hidden basements and attics. In the cold silence, the children clutched at slivers of hope, really no bigger than a butterfly's wing. I begin the first 4 bars with a solo voice with no accompaniment, so it resembles the fragile breath of a child who is afraid of the dark. The melody unfolds, hesitant at first, but then stretching, reaching, as the child thinks of poems left behind, drawings of butterflies, and longing for a world outside of barbed wire fences and walls. How could these children dream? And yet, they did. Their resilience was a quiet defiance, a fragile light in suffering shadows. My music swells, it's soft, rippling, as if a shadow was gliding and drawing butterflies on crumbling walls, offering fragile hope and defying darkness. The flute emerges and represents the child's butterfly. It fits between the shadows, its melody is light, yet insistent, refusing to be silenced. I allow the flute to weave and evolve through the composition, soaring above the mournful, aching harmony. The butterfly is always moving, the butterfly is always alive. The butterfly was the child's hope, the whisper of dreams that could not be caged. At times in the music, it hesitated as if caught in the wind and uncertain. But then it rose, unfurling into trills and runs, filling the emptiness with something beyond pain. Resilience, defiance, the breath of a child that perhaps tomorrow might be a brighter day. As the music draws to a close, the melody does not fade into sorrow, but ascends with a delicate ease, unbreakable. The butterfly is free. The butterfly is a promise, recalling the many voices of children and their dreams being carried forward on butterfly wings, eternal in their quiet strength. Hope through butterfly shadows sings each child's name and murmurs a symphony, remembering the innocent who dreamed, who hoped, who left behind whispers of wings in a world that tried to erase them. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to dedicate this performance to Esther Bash, my friend, known to many as the honey girl of Auschwitz. I got to know Esther for 4 years at ACJHS because I was leading tours and Esther was often a guest speaker. She caught my interest because I wanted to write a song about a child in Auschwitz, and she was the perfect person to interview because Esther was in Auschwitz for 4 years. Esther passed away peacefully last week on April 14th. This marks the 80th anniversary of Esther's liberation on April 14th, 1945. Esther's courage, warmth, and unshakable hope inspired me to write this piece. Tonight, through the students and music, her story lives on. Esther taught us all that even after enduring the deepest darkness, one can still choose light, one can still choose to speak, one can still choose hope. Tonight, may Hope Through Butterfly Shadows carry Esther's memory on wings into the light she helped so many people find. As our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders raise their voices in song, they have chosen to honor Esther's legacy and ensure her story is told by this new generation who promise never to forget hope through butterfly shadows. trilogy I've entitled Resonance of Remembrance, Vocal and Instrument Reflections Representing Lost Nursery Rhymes of Innocent Children. We start with the marimba, which represents the deportation trains. In Lost Nursery Rhymes of Innocent Children, the marimba serves as a haunting reminder of the trains that transported countless innocent children to their fates. The instrument's percussive nature, with its wooden bars struck by mallets, evokes the rhythm and relentless chugging of the locomotives. The sound of the marimba, with its echoes and reverberations, captures the eerie and relentless march towards concentration camps and the unspeakable horrors that awaited those on board. A male soloist, the soloist of choice being either a tenor or baritone, will take on the persona of Janusz Korczak, a heroic figure who refused to abandon the Jewish children in his care, and he chose to accompany them to their tragic deaths in gas chambers. Our tenor this evening, Thomas Strauser, encompasses the vocal capacity to convey a wide range of emotions that symbolize, I would say, passion first, vulnerability, strength, and determination. The character of Janusz Korczak deserves vocal technique that will create moving, emotional, and resonating performance, exemplifying Korczak's honor and the lives that were lost. The cello and the piano are instruments of empathy. Both of these instruments, in their natural musicality, add a layer of lullabies to this multifaceted composition. These instruments, with their lyrical and melodic qualities, symbolize the longing for comfort, the serenity amid the horrors of the Holocaust. The instruments serve as important reminders of the lullabies parents might have sung to their children, even as their lives were tragically cut short. The word, breathe, was inspired by Oscar. He asked me once, he said, what's the most important gift that you could ever have in this life? And I thought of all sorts of things, love, family, those kinds of things. Oscar said, you're wrong. The most important thing you could ever have is breath. So I incorporated that into this piece of music. You will hear the students sing the word breathe, which symbolizes that these Holocaust children no longer had breath. It was taken from them because they were murdered in gas chambers. But then you will see the students make the hand motion of a butterfly, which for me represents remembrance. The choir will make this sign with the butterfly moving upward with their hands. This will add a beautiful layer of symbolism to the narrative, emphasizing themes of honor, respect, and remembrance. The butterfly is also a symbol of transformation. It does represent the hope for a brighter and more compassionate future. The choir's act of making the butterfly sign is a powerful statement that they now carry hope for a world free from hatred and intolerance. And finally, the composer's final comments. There were three combined factors that shaped this composition that explores the profound human experiences during the Holocaust. Number one, my visit to Auschwitz served as a haunting reminder of the horrors that unfolded during that period in history, igniting in me a very deep emotional connection to the past. Number two, Lost Nursery Rhymes, as mentioned, is the story of Janusz Korczak, who dedicated his entire life to caring for orphan Jewish children in the Warsaw Ghetto. Korczak symbolizes selflessness and the preservation of hope amidst adversity, providing a significant thematic element. And finally, having read my dear friend Oscar's book, A Boy's Story, A Man's Memory, I was invited to meet him at a conference where he was speaking. Oscar inspired me to choose to look more closely at how he overcame his trauma, how he learned to forgive his perpetrators, and share his experience not only with me, but to inspire countless, hundreds of students. Oscar's unique perspective showed me the strength of the human spirit and added a deeper personal touch to my music. Lost Nursery Rhymes was written and composed and dedicated to Oscar in 2019 for his incredible strength, resilience, and the precious gift he gave to me and he has shared with the world. Lost Nursery Rhymes of Innocent Children.
On this train we'll ride. I'll be right by your side. Just hold on tight. We'll be all right. We'll sing some nursery rhymes.
See
time to wonder what might have been. Let's play a game called Not Heard or Seen. Don't forget what it means to have lived and breathed as a Jewish comes. Hold on tight, children. There's no time to wonder what might have been. Let's play a game called Not Heard or Seen. Forget what it means to have lived and breathed as a Jewish comes.